This end was quite interesting. Once again, you bid a heart over double. You have them. And once again, 5-card suit, etc. And so when it went 2 diamonds by East, Steve's pass, since you guys were playing support doubles, denied 3-card heart support. And you chose to reopen with 2 hearts, which is
yeah, not a very good bid. I mean, I really, honestly, I knew did not want to sell it to 2 diamonds. I had no idea what I wanted to compete in. I thought I could just get by with 2 hearts. I really thought they were just going to bid 3 diamonds. I should just reopen with double. It'll get me to a 4-3 spade fit. It'll get me to a 5-3 club fit, and it'll stop me from playing a 5-1 heart fit. That there's nothing really bad that's going to happen if I don't.
Right. I mean, the only bad thing is he could pass the double, but
even then,
he can really is almost never going to have.
I was thinking that at the time. Like I was so worried that he might think double would be more defensive, but in reality, double's just always a hand like I had.
Right.
Saying I want to reopen the auction, and I don't know how.
Right. Well, I mean, I wouldn't really want to reopen.
Well, I desperately wanted to reopen.
Yeah, I mean, white especially.
I could see hands like so many hands that I would make 2 hearts if he had Queen Doubleton of hearts, or if I would make 2 spades on a 4-3 fit, or 5. Like I could see us making pretty much everything to push him up. Like it was all entire. Like it was a split deck. My partner opened the bidding, and I have 6 points. The deck split about 20-20 or 20. Maybe they got us 22-18. And they're playing in 2 diamonds in what looks like they've caught at least an 8-card fit. So, I mean, I can't pass them out in 2 diamonds.
Right.
Yeah, I would balance. I'd want to balance, and I would also feel confident in the doubles takeout. I mean, they've shown a fit. They're at a low level.
Yeah, I was confident doubles takeout.
Yeah, so
I was thinking that you might convert it more than I was. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's really that likely, because if I'm converting it, it's very unlikely.
You got all this, like, I don't open a club with 4-4. That whole 4-4 of the Viters garbage is coming back to haunt me. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm not going to be very likely to convert a 2-level takeout double when I know we have a playable spot.
Right.
That was my evil plan when I asked the very first question. But, yeah, so then the play-in 2 hearts, I don't think there really was too much here.
It was funny at the end of this hand. I ended up knowing that hearts were 3-3 and roughing my own business to play hearts out. Like they gave me I don't remember how it went, but there was something a little funny in the end position.
Yeah, so the defense actually did really well here at trick 2. After winning the ace of spades, they shifted to a club from queen third, which may not appeal to everyone initially, but they needed to build this club trick in time, otherwise it would disappear. And so, John Adams made another nice play here of shifting to a club before you had time to, sort of set up any sort of winners or draw any trump, etc. And so you've eventually finished down 1. And so then in the other room, they just had a precision 1 diamond auction. This is like the nightmare hand. Every time I open a precision diamond when I'm 4-2-2-5, I die a little inside. Before I know it, I'll have less hair than gray. But
never have.
I don't know. I like my chances. Depends how much I play with Steve. But so with the West hand here, Greg, were you tempted at all to bid over 1 diamond?
Yeah, I mean, I was tempted to make a takeout double. There's certainly a possibility here. I do have support for all the other suits, but Queen 4th of diamonds is not my favorite holding. The other possibility would be to overcall a light 1 no, but I don't have a long suit, and my spots are pretty bad.
Okay.
I decided to let it go. I mean, looking at it again, maybe I should double here, especially because the precision 1 diamond is going to steal from me so much. But
yeah, I like a double of a 1 diamond. Solid opening bid and support for every suit.
Yeah. The more I look at it now, I'm surprised I didn't double. But it's not classic. It's
it's not a textbook double necessarily.
It has some downsides, but I'm surprised I let them shut.
I think we saw like 3 or 4 of these type of situations in this match of close doubles of 1 diamond.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think I
and
was a doubler on every one of them, and other people weren't on a lot of them.
mhm, yeah, and so then the defense here, you guys had sort of an adventure on defense here. You started with a diamond to the king, and spade to 10, another spade, which you won, and now played diamond, diamond, ace of hearts, and
Yeah, this was my least favorite spot of the match. Like even less, I was even more unhappy than the last auction. I did this all to myself. Like when I cashed the diamond, I knew that Jason knew the diamond layout. I knew he could have overtaken the diamond if he wanted to, and just cashed a bunch of diamonds, and he left me on lead. And so I sat there and started to think, like, he must have left me on lead for a reason, right? Because everything partner does is always for a reason. Um, and so I was thinking, oh, he must have king third of hearts and want me to lead a heart now. Um, and so I'm like, okay, great. I started the ace of hearts, and I was about to play the queen of hearts, and then I got scared. And I was like, you know what? If I'm wrong, and Jason just, didn't overtake the diamond because it didn't occur to him that it was important to do so, I'm going to look like a huge idiot playing the ace queen of hearts here. And I got scared, and I was like, well, you know what? If he has the king of hearts, we're going to beat this if I just play a diamond. So I just played a diamond now. And then Jason, after that happened, Jason cashed the king of hearts, and then we didn't get our third heart trick. So it was an under trick lost, but I think I totally overthought this hand.
And so, Jason, from your point of view, was there any sort of suit preference or anything else going on here that might have helped, or just sort of?
I mean, I thought I showed suit preference by playing 6 and then 4 as well by leaving him on lead. I also thought about intentionally blocking the diamonds and forcing him to win the diamond
Yeah,
to play a heart.
that would have been a interesting but nice play. But yeah, so all right, I don't think there's much else here, and then we get to move on to the last board, which was all sorts of fun.
There were some fireworks at the end here.
Uh-huh. I think more fireworks were aimed at each other's partners than anything else. So we had quite a long auction here. So, Gavin, you chose to open a club and reversed it into 2 diamonds.
Well, I didn't choose to reverse when I opened a club. I chose to open a club, and then hope that I would just have to get to bid some competitive 2-no bid or something later that would get me off the hook of having to decide whether to reverse. I didn't really want to open a diamond because I felt like my clubs were just a little too strong to treat as a secondary suit, and so I figured I'd open a club. And usually when you have 6-5 and avoiding spades, you can count on the opponents for bidding a spade, 4 spades, and making life
Easy, yes.
not having to decide whether my hand is a reverse or not. And unfortunately, when a club pass, a spade pass, it was like, I decided, what the heck, 6-5, might as well bid my second suit. It was really light. I didn't really, I definitely don't hold this hand and say like this. You have to open this hand and this hand of club and reverse the 2 diamonds. I certainly don't feel like that. I honestly just throw a bit out there and hope it works out well when I have no idea. So
Yeah, planning rebids are for old people.
well, I knew this was not
yeah.
You pick this up and you immediately know it's not going to be a comfortable hand to bid.
Right, exactly. You
Hope that
just
might
hope
get a
that
little
the
option that might
opponents
work out a little better than a
Right,
club pass, a
exactly.
spade pass.
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
my options were I could now suppress my diamond suit and bid 2 clubs, or reverse, and I felt like I really should just suppress my diamond suit and bid 2 clubs.
yeah, I agree, but
I wouldn't have any
Yeah.
problems about reversing. I mean,
They opened a strong club at our thing.
you do have only 4 losers.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't like the reverse. I mean, I think your options are to open a club and rebid 2 clubs, or open a diamond and bid clubs twice, or reverse. And I think when you're 5-6, your reverse could be about a king light, but here you have 5 of your points in your 2-card suit. So I don't think it's quite enough to reverse. And my first instinct when we played this hand is I would open a diamond, but after talking to Gavin and Bobby more about it, I kind of like a club and then two clubs. But I just don't think it's good enough for a club in reversing.
All right. And so then you bid three clubs and three diamonds.
Yeah, three clubs was natural
you,
in game forcing. It was not. His 18 count opposite my my reverse. He wasn't, he checking to see if I psyched, hoping.
Right, exactly. And then four diamonds was kickback. Looks like.
Right.
And,
I wasn't sure since I established trumps. I don't think three diamonds had to be a fifth diamond. If I bid like 2-0 or two spades and Gavin bid three diamonds, then I'd be sure he was 5-6. But since I established clubs as trumps, his three diamonds is a wider range bid because I don't think it has to be a 5-6 hand.
I didn't feel like I'd showed 6-5 when I bid three diamonds either.
right.
So yeah, I just Blackwood. We play after we agree to suit an 8-card minor, then one over as Blackwood, and I was very disappointed with Gavin's response.
Very disappointed seems like an understatement.
Yeah. Normally when you bid Blackwood, you have your auction planned out. I wasn't exactly prepared for that response. I was prepared for boom, 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 7.
Well, I mean, when I have an 18 count and partner reverses, I don't usually, plan to be off a key card. But
Right.
yeah, so you guys eventually landed in 6-0. And,
Well, so another thing I want to point out here is, Gavin elected not to show his void, which was, a good decision since you usually don't want to show your void in partner suit here, especially in this hand where he had a bare minimum reverse is another reason not to show his void.
I feel like every time in my entire life that I've given a hand with a void to Steve over Blackwood, he said, I would not show the void. I would not show the void. I would not show the void. Some hands it's obviously like you have to show your void over key card, but whenever there's like any thought whatsoever about whether you're supposed to show the void, Steve always says don't show the void. This wasn't even like a remotely close decision for me. I was like felt sick about my reverse. My void was in his suit. I had King Queen of Hearts. It just can't be that that he needs. The spade void.
So did you try to bid 3-0 over 6-0?
Well, you know the thing I really learned,
even opening the hand in the first place.
the thing I really learned from listening to Gavin describe some of this stuff is that he actually listens to me. So now I'm going to start telling him the truth because I just thought we were having a conversation where he was like nodding and yes, oh, yeah, okay. But he's actually remembering it. And in that case, I did tell him what I believe is that if you even think for a second whether you should show a void, do not show the void. It really. It doesn't work out. And here, obviously, Gavin has a stone cold minimum. There's a void in my suit. He has so many reasons not to show the void. So I'm glad they didn't show the void.
And not that it made any difference on this hand.
No, you would have just been even more pissed off.
Yeah,
exactly. He would have known that I'd made a bad bid of showing my void before I put down diamond. He already knew I made a bad bid of reversing. The next issue, right?
And I actually asked for the Queen of Trumps not because I cared if he had the Queen of Trumps. I was actually pretty confident he had that. But I thought it was a pretty close match, and there was a big difference. The two imps between 6 clubs and 6-0 might matter. So I decided if Gavin showed the King of Hearts and not the King of Diamonds, I would definitely bid 6-0. And if he showed the King of Diamonds, I was probably going to have to bid 6 clubs because he could have a stiff heart.
Yeah, always nice when you're planning for partner not to have the King of the reverse suit. Also,
Right. He was actually very courteous to show the King of Hearts and not the King of Diamonds.
Yes. And so the play in 6-0 was a little sad. There's not much better way to put it. They started with a heart, and so you won ace and played.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to be in my hand to take a club finesse.
Right, and then it just sort of went downhill from there.
And actually, the play in clubs was counterintuitive to play. I mean, it feels very natural to play a club to the queen. Or to play a club to the ace and switch suits, but I realized in this situation I could steal a club trick because it would be very, very difficult for East to fly King of Clubs. You would have to have the King of Diamonds, and it would have to be guarded. So the club to the ace, club to the jack gets me up to an extra trick that I couldn't have gotten otherwise. Even though if he flies King and plays a heart, I'm really in a lot of trouble. It seems very unbelievable he's going to be able to do that. So now I'm thinking if I could take 2 clubs, 4 diamonds, or 6, 2 hearts, or 8. Ace King Queen of Spades is 11. Jack 10 9 drops Tripleton 12. Boom at 14. See you guys later.
Such an easy game.
Easy game.
So after you stole the Jack of Clubs, you
Right. Now I had to keep communications open between my
Right.
two hands.
right. So then when you let them win the diamond, and they return to diamond, you won, cash the ace of spades,
You got the bad
he-
news.
I'm like, come
Well,
on, somebody
he's
show me
true.
the 9 or the 10.
Yeah, exactly. He should have teased you.
He should have used me.
But you really had no hope for anything but down one at that point, unfortunately.
Right.
And
Win 5.
mhm. So in the other room, the auction was a little shorter, but so Greg, you chose to open 2 spades. Not exactly the greatest spade suit, but you are white-red in first seat. Is this?
You know, this seemed normal to me at the time. And I know against it I have 4 hearts and I have a void and I have some defense and my spades are bad. But I've always felt like being yeah, okay, right? Against it, there's like this laundry list of stuff. But for it, I am white-red in first seat. And that's always been like waving the flag in front of a bull to me. A lot of people gave me a hard time about this bid after this board, so I'm willing to hear a reason if 2 spades is a bad bid on this. I've been bidding 2 spades on this hand my whole life.
I like it.
I definitely don't mind it at all. I don't mind 3 also.
I mean, I like it because you're white, because you're missing a white game, or like a lot of good things can happen to you, and you're not vulnerable. So if something bad happens to you, then it's not as expensive.
Yeah, I
mean,
kinda like it.
when we were playing this match, I wasn't logged on to anything on the internet, and I really wanted to give it 100%. And as soon as I bid 2 spades, before the auction was over, someone texted me to yell at me about opening 2 spades. That's how bad the universe thought my 2 spade bid was. I'm very glad you guys say
Now
that.
All your devices exploded.
Acceptable.
Right.
Yeah,
I
right.
understand why the ACL doesn't allow cell phones.
My
and
phone
playing
is ringing. It's getting text. Someone pounding on my window. Okay.
No, I think it's going to put pressure on with either 2 or 3.
I mean, there's actually a lot to be said for 3, just because if 2 is backfiring, 3 is only backfiring a little more, and 3 spades is just such a hard bid.
It's so hard when you have 4 hearts. It's so hard for them because it's so likely you're going to catch them with some hand with not enough hearts to make a takeout double, and they're really
exactly.
force them into 3-0. And if a partner's got a good hand,
You force them into
so
3-0
hard.
or worse yet.
I like to bid 3 spades first chair white against red as much as I possibly can. And
Yeah, 3 spades is probably the winningest bid in the long run, I would think.
Yeah.
so is that what you think? You know, your friends are giving you crap about 2 spades. After you come here and then everybody's like, "Yeah, you didn't bid enough."
Yeah. 2 spades terrible.
Yeah,
You know, my philosophy on preempt
nowhere near aggressive enough.
in this
That's what the
situation.
Texas were, right?
Like when I was first learning to play bridge in the Palo Alto area, we had a number of really good experts who spent a lot of time helping beginners. I remember Gene Simpson once giving a lecture to the beginners saying, if you wait around for the perfect hand to preempt 2 of a major on, you won't preempt nearly enough. There's like all this stuff about having 4 cards in the other major and not preempting with a void and 2 of the top 3s. Please forget all of that stuff. You won't preempt nearly enough if you sit around and wait for that textbook hand. So I don't.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. The person who originally taught me bridge is actually coming over to visit. We're having lunch tomorrow, and so when I
Show them this hand, see what they would do.
Well, so when I originally learned how to play, she taught me that I needed 7 high card points in the suit that I preempted to open a preempt.
In that suit.
Yes, in that suit.
Okay.
So if I had King, Queen, Jack, 6, it was not enough. But so then I sort of was going through a rebellious phase when I was 10 or 11, and so I was playing against her. And
When
her
was that phase?
You'd already
by the
passed
way?
through the listening phase by the time you were 10.
Yes. Yes.
Is that phase going to
And
end?
so
anytime
I
soon?
picked up like 9/5 of spades, And so I was all proud. I opened two spades, and she sort of looked at me with her king, queen, jack, 10, sixth of spades. And well, it didn't really end very well, but that's still one of actually my father's favorite hands of all time. Is watching me open two spades on that horrendous pile of trash. But yeah, anyway. So after two spades, Nora sort of had an interesting decision. Do you like three clubs or 4-0, or some people play four clubs as like a weakish hand with minors here.
Yeah, didn't I see John Kraniak play that somewhere or something?
Yeah, Crayon.
Yeah, he actually hosted
it's
a
like
poll
one of
about
his
that.
things that he brings up with me every time we sit down to play. Like I cannot remember this convention. Like who remembers that two spades, four clubs is both
I know.
minors? Like,
He'd be like
every-
smiling. Yeah,
Well, I mean, we remembered that Cran plays it, so
right. That's true. I mean, I think three clubs is pretty normal.
okay. Yeah, and then just launched into Keycard, and they did show the void because
But now the void
preempted
looks
two
like a big
spades.
asset, right? It certainly looks like something you might want to show.
yeah.
But still,
And,
wouldn't that be wouldn't four diamonds, six clubs be one in a void?
yes, I think they had a mix-up here as far as the void showing stuff goes. But
Maybe he thought six clubs was solid clubs. And
Doesn't
four
he
diamonds.
have
Yeah.
one in a void?
Well, but the problem is there was a seven club bid. So.
Oh yeah, well I mean I don't know what South was doing.
Yeah, that's why that's what I was bringing up, not the six club bid.
I mean, I think
okay.
that there was just sort of a mix-up of sorts here. Especially if you're not
with
like
kickback, it's not as when you just have a Blackwood auction, you're aware that 4-0, 5-0 is an even number of key cards with a void, and 4-0, 6 of if you can bid the void would be an odd number of key cards. Like this bid actually wasn't really like when you're playing kickback. 6 clubs was actually like a I don't really think that's kickback kind of bid, because if you if he had a 5 spade bid to show an odd number of
Right.
spade void.
Yeah, because normally you would just bid the void.
So it's not even clear what that.
Well, he had avoided no
Six clubs to me says I didn't recognize four diamonds as a key card. That's what that.
Yeah, I mean it's certainly clear that something went wrong here, but yeah, it's always nice to like make the bid that doesn't exist, as sort of an alarm to partner. Like I don't know what's going on.
Well, he probably thought that he's like, this is not a response, and partner jumped to 6.
Right, exactly.
I would think if I just agreed to play kickback, though, that jumping to slam shows would be one in a void, and like 4 diamonds, 5 diamonds would be 2 in a void. 4 diamonds, 5 of a major, I wouldn't bid because I wouldn't even know what it showed. But 4 diamonds jumping to slam.
Sorry, you would not bid 5 spades to show a spade void. You wouldn't know that would show. It's the opponent that opened a weak 2 bid, and your partner's bid kickback, and you didn't bid 5 spades to show a void.
I wouldn't know if that showed 1 in a void or 2 in a void, so I'd be really nervous about making the bid.
You played 5 diamonds as 2 of the void, right?
Right, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying whether you're wrong about what 6 clubs that it should be a void the thing. I would just think that I would not be worried about 5 spades being misconstrued as an odd number of key cards in a void if I was playing kickback with somebody.
Yeah, I'd be nervous about that.
Well, that's all interesting. We can't let Curtis off the hook here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean Jason. Jason did have the final call in this hand.
I certainly could have doubled, but I didn't want to chase him into like making 7 diamonds, or if South had long running diamond suits or a nearly solid diamond suit, and I felt like we had a pretty good set. And if they're going down in the grand and the other table is making sticks, then I felt reasonably confident in picking up the extra.
I don't blame you at all.
200 or
No, I don't either, but you'll forever be Curtis Cheek to me.
Hey, there are worse things to be, right?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. All right. Well, I think that's about all for this one, actually.
Thank you very much, Adam, for your help with this, and
Thanks, guys.
hope you all enjoyed this little series.
Yeah, and also thanks very much to our opponents too. I mean, it was a very close match. It was.
They played a great match. They really did. They played a great
excellent
match.
bridge.
Yeah, just thank you for the Raj Kumar family and John Adams. We much appreciated.
Yeah.
You guys did very well.
Yeah. And,
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. And hopefully we'll see you next time.